On a winter evening in front of the crackling fire, roasting potatoes and holding hands. Our cemented handprints on the pavement of our houses. His, rough and scrubbed up from climbing trees and getting into fights. Spent all day beside, and the lapse of his musical voice throbs in my ears as the trees around reverberated to me. The fresh breeze carrying the same old scent of food from the households, and the sweet piquant flavor of the berries. Inhaling a deep breath, I walked towards you, to meet and to greet, to embrace and to remember. I passed by the old field where we lay on ragged blankets, adoring the stars beyond our reach, fantasizing about a day when we get to hold one. How foolish we were, two little kids, who separated in a search of those stars, embarked alone, for we had stars lying beside each other, yet we knew nothing of it. And as the first raindrop used to land on his cheek, squealing and giggling would make me touch it. Carefully taking it on my fingertip, I would put it on my cheek, trying to feel what he did. Two silly children we were, promising each other for forever we'd never known of, promising to be by the other side, to never forget. As I open these gates unfamiliar to me, the cold and the distant atmosphere swallows me. We never walked by here. This path has not heard our laughter nor holds any memories. The breeze holds my tears. It soaked my cheeks where his lips rested once. Those lips that lay in front of me today, not breathing or smiling anymore ever again. Under this gravestone I stand over. We were our stars, I sobbed against the cold stone which held him now. The body of the boy who was the epitome of the warmth that held me together. Taking out the metal knife I brought together, I scratched a word onto his stone. 4 ways, saying it out loud in a painful gush, along with the energy that binds, the energy that bound me, the bundle of warmth that never failed to surround me, the only star of my galaxy, him. As I scratched the words that would 4 ways be etched onto the stone, and on my skin and heart and mind and soul, the breeze returned to the warmth I've never felt in years, making me wildly relieved. His warmth never diminishing, his warmth that will 4 ways be here, holding on to me, and the warmth that all I will hold in my arms. And when I will die, I will lay beside on a stone similar to his, holding hands with his soul and running the same streets and lying on the same rags. But the only difference will be that we will know we have the stars held tight in each other's hands, and that we won't be the same two silly kids anymore, but much better, much better, and much more 4 ways.
Thank you so much for being here today. सबैजनाले आफ्नो समय दिएर यहाँ आइदिनु भएकोमा धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद. My name is Richa Bhattrai and I am a writer. But the really sad thing is that I started writing stories at an age when Prashasti has already published her book. I'm so jealous of you, Prashasti, and even more than that, I'm really happy and really proud of you. So, as we know, Prashasti's book is a very special book, and it has got 5 letters and a lot of poems, many of which we are going to hear after this. But right now, it's time for us to launch the book, and this is going to be a very special launch because this is by Prashasti. So, Prashasti, could I please request you to launch the book? Congratulations once again. So we'd all like to know more about the book. यो पुस्तक चाहिँ के होला, कस्तो होला, यसभित्र के छ भनेर. We've got a really beautiful video which stars Prashasti, where she talks about how she started writing it and what all goes into it. So let's watch the video, please.
All I would need in life is a room filled with books and blank papers, for me to fervently scribble on them, simpering with knowledge on emotions and a head full of rugged notions. I'm Prashasti Aryal, I'm 17. I started writing since I was a kid, and I've written for as long as I can remember. As I hit puberty, I had all these pent-up feelings inside me that I had to write down somewhere. So writing became an escape route for me. Give me a sky full of stars, a head full of wilderness, a heart full of hope and warmth, a bench beneath the sweet honeysuckled light. Stack silvery smooth pages in front of me and hand me mounds of inks, and I will show you the life that shines behind my eyes. I will show you the God that people believe in, the God that lives in riveting raw passion. Red Moon is a poetry compilation book, but I don't think I'd actually like to call them poems because they are my thoughts that I've written in verses. There are 5 letters in Red Moon, and 4 of them I have written to life, and the last one is from life to me as a reply. Whenever something triggers me or strikes me in any kind of emotional way, I write it down. My poems range from stress, longing, anxiety to every other emotion a teenager faces. Give me a sky full of stars, a head full of wilderness, a heart full of hope and warmth, a bench beneath the sweet honeysuckled sunlight. Stack silvery smooth pages in front of me and hand me mounds of inks, and I will show you the life that shines behind my eyes. I will show you the God that people believe in, the God that lives in riveting raw passion.
Is a voracious reader, and the best thing is that she has already read Red Moon. And it's also interesting to note that Red Moon is a book which was written by Prashasti especially for young adults when she was a teenager, when she was much younger than she is now. So we'd like to know how exactly it affects teenagers, it affects a young person like Manushree. Let us hear from Manushree herself.
Thank you, Richard. So about 7 years ago, I met this person, this girl. We were both kids at the time, and honestly, the both of us remember close to nothing about that meeting. Our parents just told us that we met, and that's it. After that, we didn't talk to each other for a very long time. We didn't see each other for a very, very long time. And now I'm sitting here in front of her talking about her book. So I started reading Red Moon the day that I received it. To say that I was excited would be an understatement. I was thrilled to have that book in my hand. Part of the reason why I was so excited to read the book was because it was written by someone who was literally just 2 years older than I am. And also because Red Moon was going to be the first poetry book that I ever read. And I was really, really excited to dive into the book. And believe me, I was not disappointed at all. This book actually surpassed my expectation, and here's to why. The writing in this book, it's just so mature, it's so deep, it's so meaningful. The way the words flow through the pages, and everything about this book is so poetic, it's just so beautiful. The words that the writer used to express the emotions, they're so strong, they're so powerful. I mean, I was so shocked when I started reading this book because I had expectations obviously, but this was just wow. I mean, I did not expect it at all. And when I started reading this book, I read the first few pages and I knew that it was going to be a sad book, that there was going to be some darkness in it. And I knew that this book was about a phase in your life where you feel hopeless and kind of helpless. But after I finished reading this book, what I thought was that this book was much more than that. That this book was trying to tell a story about a girl who faced all of these problems, who faced all of this darkness in life, but at the end of the day she survived, and right now she is sitting with us, and she's talking about her book, and she's just released her book, and I thought that this book was not only about the darkness of life, but it was also about surviving the darkness. I really love the way the writer's imagination collided with their feelings, with their emotions, and with her words. There was the sun, there was the moon, there was wind, and there was a prince, there was a princess, and there was a castle, and all those combined together, there was a girl, there was a light, and this was her book. And I, to those readers, to all those teenage readers who already faced this phase in their life, I know that they'll be able to understand this book to a much more deeper level. And to those who have not faced these problems yet, I know you'll be able to feel the emotions too. And to all the older readers, I know that you guys will be able to feel all those memories resurfacing back to you. And overall, I absolutely enjoyed reading this book. There was nothing in this book that I did not like. I loved it. And lastly, there's a certain line in this book that I really like. All that starts has to end and endings have starts all over again. And saying this, I'd like to depart from here. Thank you, everyone.
Prashasti, we have heard from Manushri about what the book is about, and then we also watched the video. But we do want to know, हामीलाई अझै थाहा पाउनु मन छ कि कसरी प्रशस्तिले चाहिँ लेख्न थालेको, अहिले चाहिँ कसरी लेख्ने गरेको छ, अनि फ्युचरमा के लेख्ने विचार छ. So let's start the conversation. I'd just like to ask the first question. You talked about releasing your feelings, about your pent-up feelings, about finding an expression for the phase that you were going through. So when I look at you, or anyone looks at you, we see someone who is confident, smart, young, who has a whole life in front of her. So what was the situation that you wanted to release yourself from?
Actually, I was in a very dark place when I started writing the poems compiled in this book, and everything was so much for me. I felt the emotions amplified, and I couldn't cope with it. So I started to write, and it became an escape for me, like I said in the video. And lately, my it was easier for me to cope with my emotions, and it was like a way to self-introspect, and I think that was the part of man that I was trying to escape, and so somewhere along the lines the poems became a book.
So you didn't set out trying to write a book?
No.
Okay. Do you still keep a diary?
Yeah, obviously I write everything that happens to me in my life.
So let's talk about the process of writing the book. When you're writing the poems, were you influenced by any writer?
There's an anonymous poet. I guess some of you would have heard of it. He's called Atticus, and he's quite, known in social media. So that's one of the poets that I was quite influenced by. And my favorite author is Colleen Hoover, and she's funny, she's smart, and the way she writes and portrays her emotions is so wonderful, and I would hope to be like her someday.
Well, we are getting there, certainly. So, what do you find most difficult about writing? What is it that makes it really difficult? Because people usually consider that writing is a very difficult vocation, right?
Honestly, when you start writing, it's not that difficult. When it's just laying down your emotions into blank papers, and it's easy. But how you should start writing, what you should start from, that's the difficult part.
So, for example, when you're writing a poem, do you think about the heading first, or do you do the poem first?
No, actually, it's like it just comes into my mind, and I try to locate it where I should put it down, the sentences, the thoughts, the ideas. So I think that's. People think that writing poems is quite difficult and stuff, but it's not. It's just. I think it's more easier than writing stories because you don't have to, think of a storyline or a plot. So it's just laying down your emotions and bending the truth a little.
You just go with the flow. And what do you enjoy about writing? के चाहिँ एकदम रमाइलो लाग्छ, लेखो लाग्छ?
त्यस्तो त खासै केही छैन है, तर म जता भए पनि यस्तो कथाहरू आउन थाल्छ कि यतिकै आउन
Scenarios.
जस्तो म खानेकुरालाई हेरिरहेको छु भने त्यसमा नि केही कथा भनिहाल्छ यो एउटा राइसको टुक्राले अर्को राइसको टुक्राले के भनिरह So I'm weird like that, so त्यसैबाट म के बनाउँछु.
So, do you think there are other teenagers like you? Because I remember you once said that you thought you were weird or different from others, and that writing helped to bridge that gap. So, this will like you after you wrote?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I never really fit into any kind of crowd, I isolated myself from everyone, and I don't have that many friends, so that was quite different. I felt that I was different and I couldn't fit in anywhere, so writing helped me a lot.
Not different, you actually sound very much like me. So there's a lot of pain and anguish in your writing. There's a lot of melancholy, there's a lot of difficulties and challenges that you write about. But something that I really liked from your poem, I really like this line. I stare at the two options left for me. I stare at the two options left for me, turn and run away or face my fears and enter. I choose the latter each and every time. Where do you find this strength, this positivity suddenly, where does it come from?
To be honest with you all, I'm a pessimist. I'm the biggest pessimist in the world, and it might be weird because I'm still a kid and all, but believe me when I say this, I'm not a positive person, and I try to pinpoint every negative thing about anything. So I have my moments of bravery and courage, and optimism. I think that's what it is.
But then you do find this all over the book, right? In some places, like the strength, the section called strength.
It's like the book has compartments. Their longing, complexity, strength, and angst. So the strength part is quite different from all the three other parts because you see a paradigm shift in the book. So I think that's the part where it's the most optimist as much as it can be, and the whole other parts of the book are too dark. So
That's okay, we need darkness in our life. So, Prashasti, you are quite busy because you are a student, right? And a science student?
yeah.
A science student, and then you have exams every other month. You just finished your pre-boards, you have your boards next month. When do you find time to write?
I don't have kind of like a schedule or anything, but I write mostly at nights because it's peaceful and I feel like a whole lot of different person. Like I can achieve anything, and no one's watching me what I'm doing. No one's judging me there in my bed, in my study table. So I write mostly at nights, and that's what it is. And I'd like to share something with you all. There is an excerpt in my English syllabus this year. It's an excerpt from an interview of Umberto Eco. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's a writer with many famous books. And in a question similar to this, he states that he writes during interstices. That's like the empty voids we all humans spend in our lives doing absolutely nothing at all, like waiting for an elevator to come up and down or waiting in an ATM line. So he says that he can like finish writing a short essay in that time. So I was quite influenced by that and tried doing it, but obviously the time wasn't enough for me to write down everything that was going around in my head. So I continue writing at night.
The nights are your favorite time. And is that why you decided to name your book Red Moon?
That's partly it, but the title doesn't, hold much of a meaning behind it. But I sit at my table writing stuff at night, and I don't know if I was hallucinating or it was reality, but I kind of saw sometimes the moon to be reddish in color, so I thought that was, unreal. So, and it was unique, so I named the book that.
And that sounds like Murakami's story, but anyway. So, it's a beautiful name, Red Moon, and you finally held the moon in your hands. And how did it feel?
Honestly, it was unreal for me. Like, I never believe गर्न सक्दिनँ म यहाँ सरहरूको अगाडि है यस्तो तर्सिरहेको छु भित्रबाट बोलिरहेको छु नि त्यही हो एकदमै new experience, and I hope it keeps going on and I keep writing more books like these.
Definitely. So are you working on anything else?
Yes, in fact, there are 2 books ongoing and I hope I actually finish them unlike my other drafts. One is a short story compilation with, like, it's a romance genre, and the other is mystery thriller. I hope you guys get to read it.
So I'll come back to your book again, and then we have talked about this many times, that this was written for young adults, that you want to reach out to young adults, right? And Manushree has also touched upon that. But I'd like to ask you again, what is the message that you want to actually give out? And when readers feel this, what do you want them to feel when they read this?
I think the whole, meaning of this book is that I want to say to every other teenager or every other person out there who's feeling like they're alone or they can't do anything in life, they can't succeed, and they're useless. So it's like I wanted them to know that they're not alone and they're not the only ones feeling this, and there are other people who feel the same way and just don't share it. And I think my message is that you need to confide in someone, and you're not being, weird or anything different. And it's totally normal to feel what you are feeling, because it's the part of puberty, teenage, and it's completely normal. So I think that's my message to everyone.
That's a wonderful message. It also touches upon mental health, right? It touches upon your own health and taking care of yourself. And so it's wonderful to be a published author, as you have said yourself, but there are so many young adults out there, or even children. We see a lot of them here today, that's great, who actually want to write or want to get published but don't know how to start. So what would you like to say to them?
I'm actually quite figuring that one out because I'm not a great, I'm not a professional. I mean,
you are a writer.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. But I'm still quite figuring that one out. So, but I do have one thing to say to the people that want to write or are just beginning to write, that you should write what you are interested in, not what you think the reader would be interested in. I think if you start doing that, then you're gonna lose interest in writing the book and then stop writing, which would be unfortunate. So I think
everyone should write. That's the biggest thing. And what is your dream book? One book that you wish मैले have त्यो मेरो नाम पावे हुन्छ त्यसमा
एउटा क्लासिक छ बुधरे गाइड्स भन्ने एमिली ब्रन्टेको. So I wish I would have written that one because that's one of my favorites. And any of Colleen Hoover's books, because they're amazing, and I recommend all of you to read it, whoever are interested in the contemporary romance genre.
And turning a bit away from your book, turning to your daily life, what is it that you like to do apart from reading and writing?
Well, I like to dance at nights with my lights turned off. I my headphones on and then I start dancing. So, and I like to listen to music, and I think most of my hobbies are just writing and reading.
That's the best hobby to have. I agree with you. And is there any regret that you have of life? Because often your poems talk of having some regrets, maybe. So does that also reflect in your life? Do you have any big regrets?
I actually live by this one thing. That's to not regret anything I do in my life, not regret my decisions and choices I make. So when I write something down or I regret something I did the day before or the present day, then that's what it is. I mean, it ends there. The regret ends when I write it down. So, and then I don't regret anything. So I live by that rule, and I can say that I don't regret anything right now.
That's great. I should follow that rule too, Prashasti. I'm going to. So finally, let me ask you a final question. Your book is sad from beginning to end, and the letters that you write to life, especially, they are very sad, and they remind me of the time when I was a teenager and I didn't have a sense of direction, and then I kept on fumbling, going from this block to another. But then finally we come to your final letter, the fifth letter, and then it's so full of hope, of energy, of something beautiful in life. हुन्छ नि एकदमै राम्रो केही कुरा हुन लागेको छ, तिमीले चाहिँ अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ, अगाडि हिँड्नुपर्छ भन्ने खालको चाहिँ त्यहाँबाट सन्देश हामीले पाउँछौँ. And I'd like to quote from that. You were born to fight. You were born to fight. Through bad and for good. You aren't supposed to be what everyone else is. So where did this come from, and can we assume that this is what you are left with at the end?
Actually, my little लेख्दाखेरि हैन म एकदमै insecure अहिले पनि छु हैन. I don't have any kind of confidence at all, and sitting here in front of all of you is very difficult right now. I just wanted to let myself know that it's okay, like just like a message to the readers, and I wanted to let myself know that it's okay, I can do it and I can fight whatever's happening, I can fight through it all. So that's what I was writing for, aiming for, and I think somewhere along the lines the last letter became a message to my readers as well, because I want them to read my last letter and think that life is writing it to them and not to me. So because that's what it is.
That's a great message to leave with. And would you like to recite another poem for us?
Yeah, sure.
We have heard from Manushi about what the book is about, and then we also watched the video. But we do want to know, हामीलाई अझै थाहा पाउनु मन छ कि कसरी प्रशस्तिले चाहिँ लेख्न थालेको, अहिले चाहिँ कसरी लेख्ने गरेको छ, अनि फ्युचरमा के लेख्ने विचार छ. So let's start the conversation. I'd just like to ask the first question. You talked about releasing your feelings, about your pent-up feelings, about finding an expression for the phase that you were going through. So when I look at you, or anyone looks at you, we see someone who is confident, smart, young, who has a whole life in front of her. So what was the situation that you wanted to release yourself from?
Actually, I was in a very dark place when I started writing the poems compiled in this book, and everything was so much for me. I felt the emotions amplified, and I couldn't cope with it. So I started to write, and it became an escape for me, like I said in the video. And लेखेपछि मलाई हुन्छ नि सजिलो लाग्छ कि like it was easier for me to cope with my emotions, and it was like a way to self-introspect, and I think that was the part of mine that I was trying to escape, and so somewhere along the lines the poems became a book.
So you didn't set out trying to write a book?
No, not really.
Okay. Do you still keep a diary?
Yeah, obviously I write everything that happens to me in my life.
So let's talk about the process of writing the book. When you're writing the poems, were you influenced by any writer?
There's an anonymous poet. I guess some of you would have heard of it. He's called Atticus, and he's quite, known in social media. So that's one of the poets that I was quite influenced by. And my favorite author is Colleen Hoover, and she's funny, she's smart, and the way she writes and portrays her emotions is so wonderful, and I would hope to be like her someday.
Well, you're getting there, certainly. So, what do you find most difficult about writing? What is it that makes it really difficult? Because people usually consider that writing is a very difficult vocation, right?
Honestly, when you start writing, it's not that difficult. When it's just laying down your emotions into blank papers, and it's easy. But how you should start writing, what you should start from, that's the difficult part.
So, for example, when you're writing a poem, do you think about the heading first, or do you do the poem first?
No, actually, it's like it just comes into my mind, and I try to locate it where I should put it down, the sentences, the thoughts, the ideas. So I think that's Um, People think that writing poems is quite difficult and stuff, but it's not. It's just, I think it's more easier than writing stories because you don't have to, think of a storyline or a plot. So it's just laying down your emotions and bending the truth a little.
You just go with the flow. And what do you enjoy about writing? के चाहिँ एकदम रमाइलो लाग्छ लेखो लाग्छ
त्यस्तो त खासै केही छैन है तर मेरो म जता भए पनि मेरो दिमागमा यस्तो कथाहरू आउन थाल्छ कि यत्तिकै आउन जस्तो म खानेकुराले हेरेको छु भने त्यसमा नि केही कथा भनिहाल्छ यो एउटा राइसको टुक्राले अर्को राइसको टुक्राले के भनिरहेको So I'm weird like that होइन so त्यसैबाट म के बनाउँछु.
So, do you think there are other teenagers like you? Because I remember you once said that you thought you were weird or different from others, and that writing helped to bridge that gap. So, this will you after you wrote?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I never really fit into any kind of crowd. I isolated myself from everyone, and I really had not. I don't have that many friends, so that was quite different. I felt that I was different and I couldn't fit in anywhere, so writing helped me a lot.
Not different, you actually sound very much like me. So there's a lot of pain and anguish in your writing. There's a lot of melancholy, there's a lot of difficulties and challenges that you write about. But something that I really liked from your poem, I really like this line. I stare at the two options left for me. I stare at the two options left for me, turn and run away or face my fears and enter. I choose the latter each and every time. Where do you find this strength, this positivity suddenly, where does it come from?
To be honest with you all, I'm a pessimist. I'm the biggest pessimist in the world, and it might be weird because I'm still a kid and all, but believe me when I say this, I'm not a positive person, and I try to pinpoint every negative thing about anything. So I have my moments of bravery and courage, and optimism. I think that's what it is.
But then you do find this all over the book, right? In some places, like the strength, the section called strength.
It's like the book has compartments. Their longing, complexity, strength, and angst. So the strength part is quite different from all the three other parts because you see a paradigm shift in the book. So I think that's the part where it's the most optimist as much as it can be, and the whole other parts of the book are so.
That's okay, we need darkness in our life. So, Prashasti, you are quite busy because you are a student, right? And a science student?
Yeah.
A science student, and then you have exams every other month. You just finished your pre-course, you have reports next month. When do you find time to write?
I don't have kind of like a schedule or anything, but I write mostly at nights because it's peaceful and I feel like a whole lot of different person. I can achieve anything. And no one's watching me what I'm doing, no one's judging me there in my bed, in my study table, so I write mostly at nights and that's what it is. And I'd like to share something with you all. There is an excerpt in my English syllabus this year. It's an excerpt from an interview of Umberto Eco. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's a writer with many famous books. And in a question similar to this, he states that he writes during interstices. That's like the empty voids we all humans spend in our lives doing absolutely nothing at all, like waiting for an elevator to come up and down or waiting in an ATM line. So he says that he can finish writing a short essay in that time. So I was quite influenced by that and tried doing it, but obviously the time wasn't enough for me to write down everything that was going around in my head, so I continue writing at night.
The nights are your favorite time. And is that why you decided to name your book Red Moon?
That's partly it, but the title doesn't, hold much of a meaning behind it, but I sit at my table writing stuff at night and I don't know if I was hallucinating or it was reality, but I kind of saw sometimes the moon to be reddish in color. So I thought that was, unreal. So, and it was unique, so I named the book that.
And that sounds like Murakami's story, but anyway. So it's a beautiful name, Red Moon, and you finally held the moon in your hands. And how did it feel?
Honestly, it was unreal for me. Like, I never really got something my ass or the dog I It's thought she actually provided. New experience, and I hope it keeps going on and I keep writing more books like these.
Definitely. So are you working on anything else?
Yes, in fact, there are 2 books ongoing and I hope I actually finish them unlike my other drafts. One is a short story compilation with, like, it's a romance genre, and the other is mystery thriller. I hope you guys get to read it.
So I'll come back to your book again, and then we have talked about this many times, that this was written for young adults, that you want to reach out to young adults, right? And Manushree has also touched upon that. But I'd like to ask you again, what is the message that you want to actually give out? And when readers feel this, what do you want them to feel when they read this?
I think the whole, meaning of this book is that I want to say to every other teenager or every other person out there who's feeling like they're alone or they can't do anything in life, they can't succeed, and they're useless. So it's like I wanted them to know that they're not alone and they're not the only ones feeling this. And there are other people who feel the same way and just don't share it. And I think my message is that you need to confide in someone and you're not being, weird or anything different. And it's totally normal to feel what you are feeling because it's the part of puberty, teenage, and it's completely normal. So I think that's my message to everyone.
That's a wonderful message. It also touches upon mental health, right? It touches upon your own health and taking care of yourself. And so it's wonderful to be a published author, as you have said yourself. But there are so many young adults out there, or even children. We see a lot of them here today. That's great. Who actually want to write or want to get published, but don't know how to start. So what would you like to say to them?
I'm actually quite figuring that one out because I'm not a great, I'm not a professional.
I mean, you are a writer.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. But I'm still quite figuring that one out. So, but I do have one thing to say to the people that want to write or are just beginning to write, that you should write what you are interested in, not what you think the reader would be interested in. I think if you start doing that, then you're gonna lose interest in writing the book and then stop writing, which would be unfortunate. So I think
everyone should write. That's the biggest thing. And what is your dream book? One book that you wish to have? जो मेरा नाम पावे उनसे किसना?
Yuda classic था, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte को. So I wish I would have written that one because that's one of my favorites. And any of Colleen Hoover's books because they're amazing, and I recommend all of you to read it, whoever are interested in the contemporary romance genre.
And turning a bit away from your book, turning to your daily life, what is it that you like to do apart from reading and writing?
Well, I like to dance at nights with my lights turned off. I put my headphones on and then I start dancing. So, and I like to listen to music, and I think most of my hobbies are just writing and reading.
That's the best hobby to have. I agree with you. And is there any regret that you have of life? Because often your poems talk of having some regrets maybe. So does that also reflect in your life? Do you have any big regrets?
I actually live by this one thing. That's to not regret anything I do in my life, not regret my decisions and choices I make. So when I write something down or I regret something I did the day before or the present day, then that's what it is. I mean, it ends there. The regret ends when I write it down. So, and then I don't regret anything. So I live by that rule, and I I can say that I don't regret anything right
That's
now.
great. I should follow that rule too, Prashasti. I'm going to. So finally, let me ask you a final question. Your book is sad from beginning to end, and the letters that you write to life, especially, they are very sad, and they remind me of the time when I was a teenager and I didn't have a sense of direction, and then I kept on fumbling, going from this block to another. But then finally, we come to your final letter, the fifth letter, and then it's so full of hope, of energy, of something beautiful in life. हुन्छ नि एकदमै राम्रो केही कुरा हुन लागेको छ, तिमीले चाहिँ अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ, अगाडि हिँड्नुपर्छ भन्ने खालको चाहिँ त्यहाँबाट सन्देश हामीले पाउँछौँ. And I'd like to quote from that. You were born to fight. You were born to fight through bad and for good. You aren't supposed to be what everyone else is. So where did this come from, and can we assume that this is what you are left with at the end?
Actually, my little लेख्दाखेरि हैन म एकदमै insecure अहिले पनि छु हैन. I don't have any kind of confidence at all, and sitting here in front of all of you is very difficult right now. I just wanted to let myself know that it's okay, like just like a message to the readers. And I wanted to let myself know that it's okay, I can do it and I can fight. Whatever's happening, I can fight through it all. So that's what I was writing for, aiming for. And I think somewhere along the lines, the last letter became a message to my readers as well, because I want them to read my last letter and think that life is writing it to them and not to me. So because, yeah, that's what it is.
That's a great message to leave with, and would you like to recite another poem for us?
Yeah, sure. Just a second. And things. I'm a wanderer, roaming streets. I'm a wanderer, no one knows. I'm a wanderer, needing the sky. I'm a wanderer, getting lost in the aesthetic earth. I'm a wanderer with no home. I'm a wanderer befriending animals. I'm a wanderer living in this majestic world. I'm a wanderer, wandering around wondering. I'm a wanderer, running away from the bottle. I'm a wanderer, overthinking about my mistakes. I'm a wanderer, crying over my choices. I'm a wanderer, wandering around with thoughts as powerful as words. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for being here today, for listening to the conversation. The books are outside. पुस्तक चाहिँ बाहिर बिक्रीमा राखिएको छ. Please go outside and buy them for our young Prashasti, and she'll also be signing the books outside. Thank you all once more.